Oh yeah! Welcome back to Marvel Contest of Champions News. It is Wednesday, it's your hump edition of the news. And there's lots to go over, so let's jump into the video. First story up, and it's a story of my own and a bit of a self-promotion for the Alliance. Basically, for whatever reason, we have had a merger. We had a merger with the Alliance. The Alliance decided to merge away from us. I'm not going to cast any judgment or negativity over the subject, because the fact is, we got positions we need to fill. I'm going to move on. They're going to move on. Whatever. The fact is, we have got 4 slots, and if you have tier 4 Alliance Wars experience and above, if you have map 6 experience and above, if you have at least 3 565 5-star champions, then please hit us up. Contact these people here and let them know. Take a screenshot of your particular profile, so therefore we can just kind of vet you and then see whether or not we can bring you in. If you're like a casual Alliance that understands you, understands what you do on a daily basis around work, around school, against your life, then please think about hitting us up. Next up, and the story about Cold Snap. Now, as you know, Iceman does appear a few times in Variant 2. And as you know, he can be a little bit annoying. Aspect of War on one hand, and also there's like Mutant Wrath. There's also kind of bonuses to like the Fury and kind of like his attack rating and stuff like that. So basically it means he's going to be damage outputting a huge amount, especially when you consider Cold Snap is a pain in the butt. So the fact is, well, what do you do with this? What do you do against this? And there's several answers. You can use champions that interwork with Frostbite and Frostbite immunity champions. Also, there are other options that reduce down this stuff like Corvus. So there are plenty of options there to use, especially when you've got Mutant Wrath. Then you can use maybe Mutant Champions, and you think about your Sabertooths. That could be quite good to use against this if you indeed have one. Especially when you look to take about 20k damage, it is not particularly nice. So with all this unavoidable damage, it's important to box clever with whoever you're using. Remember, if all else fails, use units and get Gerd. Next up, and what are people's thoughts on this month's event? Now, we have been talking about this quite regularly, about people's thoughts like towards this, especially with the Infinity Stone like side event being the main catalyst, as well as all the bugs and issues that are currently still in game that have not been fixed. So it's felt in some people's minds a little bit of a scuffy time. Although people have praised Gabam on the Thanos base fight, but look, you can't really have so much praise without a little bit of negativity at the same time. It keeps the world in check, people. Now, Truecost put together a poll on this particular subject and whether or not people actually thought towards this. Predominantly, it is negative towards, well, people aren't happy. They don't feel that it's been a good month. I'm not in the case that people have been absolutely angry about the subject, but in case that, like, look, it's like a Rotten Tomatoes thing. If people rating it badly, then it's a little bit rotten. At this point, I think that it's a very good time for Gabam to learn from the mistakes and then move forward to next month. Not dwell on what was bad, what people are overly criticizing, and the negative feedback and the critical feedback at the same time, but move forward and go, right, well, we'll focus on the next event and make that better than this event. So if June is indeed the Atlantean-based event with Namor coming into the contest, then I really hope that they hit it out of the park. You know, we're all rooting for you. We really are. Oh, and just before I forget, little reminder, it is indeed Hawkeye Day today. Yes, Hawkeye Day. So you get an Infinity Stone with Hawkeye. Right, so I saw this, and this is the next story. Bit odd that you're going with a Void here against King Groot, and with Fear of the Void, he's still managing to regen. Now, there's a lot of speculation with this, whether or not this is as a bug, whether or not this is something that's associated with the masteries overriding the ability of Void, and whether or not this kind of works as a passive, non-passive. It's very confusing nevertheless. Some have even said the way that the node, because this is all based on a node placement of node 52, in War, that this could be something that interworks with the intimidating debuff timer. There's lots of people's different types of take on this, of what this could actually be, because effectively you wouldn't be able to see the regeneration or like reversing the effects or those kind of things. There seems to be a lot of weird things at play, and lots of people have different speculations or ideas of what it is. It's a very interesting read for those that are big into Void and also the abilities of the champion. A link is in the description below, but there's still no word on this by Gabam if this is a bug or not. But either way, I'm a bit unsure about this because people have different processes of kind of explaining it. And I'm like, well, yeah, I do agree with that. Or maybe it is that. So maybe it needs a dev to just like come in and just shake it up and just say it is this or that. On to our next story, and if you remember the last story, there was TUG, the unnamed guy. He's now back, but he did this great in-depth post on all the characters and why each of them deserve the vote. At the moment, it's very difficult, as I've said in my video, that I'm a bit uncertain of like who I'm going to vote for. And I did plan to put out a load of videos on different characters within there. So I think today I'm trying to get out with the news a Colossus version and kind of look at, well, other synergies that make the champion a bit more powerful. Does he deserve your vote? And I plan to do all of them, but I don't know if I'm going to make it in time. But maybe the kind of the hot ones that people would necessarily vote for rather than other random ones. But if you want a more detailed kind of an idea in order to cast your vote, similar to like a mandate from a political party, in the UK, it's a multi-party system. In other countries, it's very much a two-party system. So I've heard a lot of people say that that's a good thing, but also, you know, for me, sometimes it's a bit of a bad thing to have that because there's so many different parties with so many different agendas, and it's hard to know that one syncs up to you as a person. So that's good and bad, but it's up to you which one you vote for, which champion, and as well, great read up here. So go to the link in the description and give it a read. Next up on Compensation Watch. Yes, the show that I just repeatedly in every news talk about compensation, because you want to hear compensation as much as you like hearing the word nerf. So compensation. Any update on that? No, except for the post was edited. That's it. That's it. Just the post was edited on the 6th of May. Just slightly edited. Compensation. Next up, and do you need a hashtag Avenger? Well, look, there's one that's coming in. The Vision is back. Yes, Vision is back. The Vision bundle is back, but the price is a lot lower. As last time, I think it was about 15,000 units. Now it is more a sporting 3,000 units. But you have to get an upgraded bundle in order to benefit from more rank up gems and those kind of things. And also the Awakening, because like effectively people want to get the Awakening. This is the point in time we have to make that decision whether or not you want to go down this route. Vision is a great champion, a double immunity champion, power control. You know, it's great. Synthesize is great. You're able to kind of build up all those power very quickly. And the fact is, a lot of people in my alliance I know have already picked this up. I'm still very much on the fence, but I've got to make a decision fairly quickly prior to Marvel Contest Champions news being released, if whether or not I choose to do it. But do bear in mind, it is an extra £100. Well, it could be £200 if you want to get the Awakening version. And I just don't know if I really fancy spending my money this way, especially with an upcoming opening that I'm looking forward to in the future. If you want to hear from other players and what they're doing, then hit up this link in the description below. It just goes through like why people are getting it, why not getting it, and it also maybe help you to kind of gather an idea whether or not you want to choose to do it. Now on to a story that I'd like to call Richest Smarty Title of a Forum Post of the Week. Dirty Boy. And to go a bit further, a lot of people just point out like you got to change the title, man. Change the title. It's like the worst typo. Oh my god, it's just wrong. It's dead. It's funny. And then shout out to Hammond for sending this through. And on to our final story, and it is arena predictions time. Please do bear in mind, all predictions are down below at the moment, but I'm going to walk you through it. So, Proxima at midnight, I'm going for the 5-star at 35mil, and the reason I'm going for 35mil, I don't think she is as popular to go anything other than 40, but I think that she'll be a solid 35. Definite usage. I do enjoy my 5-star version that's Awakened, and I think that for a lot of players that maybe want to go for it that don't have her, then it would be a good opportunity to start that. But do bear in mind that you may want an Awakening in the future. The 4-star, I've got 5.8 mil, and I think that's a little bit more than I think she normally would go for. I think that she's going to be popular, but I don't think she's going to get anything more than about 5.5, but 5.8 mil to be safe rather than being sorry. If people want to push for 6 mil, please do, but it's up to you. Like, I feel that 5.8 will be the finishing point. And the champion, not a hugely rated champion, not a champion I think that a lot of people would actually want to go for nowadays. Some people do have him and absolutely love him, and that's great. But I feel that the 4-star is going to go for a very kind of low 2.2 mil. And maybe it's the case you will see it drop down into about 2 mil, or maybe even 1.9. But it's very hard to tell at this stage. Round 2 is usually quite good to get these predictions locked in. There we have it. That has been Wednesday, my dudes. Oh! And make sure you drop into the live stream later on, because we'll be doing more of that. I promise we won't be, but maybe. I don't know if people are into that. People are into some weird, freaky stuff nowadays. I'm just getting over the fact that people like ASMR. Hey guys, how you doing? Are you doing very well? This is MCN News ASMR. It's a cool thing. or something like that. Any case, thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed the MCC news, and hit the like button, subscribe for more Marvel Contest Champions based content. Catch you in the live stream later on, 1900 hours GMT, and I shall catch you in the next one. Bye bye for now.